It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Driver the number 31 AT&T Mobility Chevrolet, Jeff Burton, 4th in points. Welcome to Texas. Your thoughts about this weekend's race?
Well, it's it's been a good racetrack for me. It's also been a track where we've run really poorly. We've done both here. Ran pretty well here in the spring, and of course the lots different between now and then with our cars and setups and stuff. So hopefully we can come here and have a good day. The last 2 weeks haven't gone very well. We ran really bad last week, and actually I thought we were going to get lucky there for a little bit. We got a lap back late and ended up getting in a wreck. So we just want to get back on our game. The last 2 weeks, late in both races, we had things not go our way, and we're a little disappointed about those things. But we'll go again this week, see what we can make happen.
We'll open it up to questions from media. Again, as courtesy, state your name and affiliation. Let me see if your hands, and we'll get the list. We'll start with Marty.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Burton, 183-point lead for the 48. Why not coast? If you're them, why not coast?
Maybe they will. I'm not sure there's been a bigger point lead in the chase format. Maybe they're now able after Atlanta to look at where they are in points and worry more about finishing than winning the race. I'm sure that Jimmy will be in mode to not do anything stupid. He doesn't have to force the issue. There is I heard Greg say, there is a philosophy of not getting off your game, and I think that's fair. But you can be on your game, but also just make sure you do the smart things. And I'm sure that they're in the position where they've had to look at that, and I'm sure they're looking at, what can they do differently to make sure they do protect. The best team, the best offense that I've ever seen play was prevent defense. When teams go to prevent defense, it seems like a lot of points get scored. So, we'll see what happens, but I think that they are in the position to be able to look at things differently.
Okay, we've got Bob, then Jeff, Mike Harris, Ryan, Ed. Come back.
Bob Margolis, Yahoo Sports. Jeff, back here. Hey. Jeff Gordon's on the verge of going winless for the first time since his rookie season, and last week he said, well, he wouldn't mind going winless if it meant it was building towards next year. You've been there where you've gone through seasons where you haven't won. I mean, are we to believe that you can just say, oh, it's okay if I don't win a race this year and I'm looking towards next year? Should we all believe that? Or I don't want you to speak for Jeff Gordon, but can a driver? How hard is it to say something like that?
Well, I do think it's important to be looking at where your team is and where it's heading. I think that the sport, every business, it's real important to be paying attention where you're going. Unfortunately, you can't ignore where you are, and I think what Jeff's trying to say is that it'd be a whole lot worse if they continue to not to be able to win versus building a team and building a structure that enables them to win. You have to understand that when you're in the midst of not having the success that you're used to, how you handle that has a great deal to do with the success that you will have in the future. So I think Jeff's, saying the right things and doing the right things and saying that, look, we're not where we need to be. Not winning's not good. So where they are, they have to be looking at the future. They have to be trying to make improvements. And I'm sure that's where all of his focus is. And the fact of the matter is, when you start having to make changes and rebuild, that isn't an acknowledgement that you aren't getting done what you need to get done. So, Jeff's not dumb, and the facts are the facts. They haven't been able to win. That doesn't mean he's happy with it by any means, but it does mean that it requires him to do some things differently.
Jeff Gluck from NASCAR Scene. Jeff, last week after the race, Jack Roush was saying that there should be a mulligan and that you should be able to drop your lowest your worst finish in the chase.
He didn't say that when Matt Kenseth won a championship.
So I guess it's your opinion that shouldn't be.
Well, we all want to change the rules when the rules don't work for us. I mean, when Matt Kenseth won the championship, everybody said it was a boring championship race, and I don't remember Jack saying, "Well, yeah, it was, and it wasn't very good, and the other team should have been allowed a mulligan because the 17 did better than everybody else." I mean, the rules are the rules. You have to make them work for you. I think that there's always ways to look at our sport to make improvements. I just think that we have to be careful. Not every time that we have a point championship that's not as compelling as one the greatest, I think we have to caution against making changes. I mean, this World Series was just won in 5 games. It wasn't a 7-game series. Or 9-game series, or whatever the heck they do in baseball. So boring I couldn't watch it. But not every championship is going to be a 5-point swing or a 5-point difference. It's just not. And by the way, this one's not over. I mean, I understand that it looks like it's an undoable thing for everybody, but I mean, how long y'all been hanging around this thing? I mean, anything can happen. So let's don't write it off just yet.
All right, we've got next 3 are Mike, Ryan, and Ed.
Okay, Mike Harris, AP. Jeff, earlier Greg said, kind of agreed with some of us that the chase is just pervasive. Everybody's talking about it all the time, right from the beginning of the season. At this point of the year, especially still being in contention, how much do you think about the chase during the week when you're not at the racetrack?
As long as we race for a championship, that's what the talk is going to be about. We determine who the best driver, best team, best organization is by who the champion is. That's what we do. By the way, that's what they happen to do in football and baseball and basketball and everything else too. So it is the dominating topic of conversation because it's how we determine who the best is. You constantly think about the chase. You constantly think about making sure you're in the chase. If you're not in one of those cars, how to get there. If you are, how to stay there. Once you get into it, it's it feels like a whole new year. Honestly, the year is broken down into 2 segments: regular season and postseason. That's the way I feel about it. And if your goal is to win the championship and to be the best team out there, then you're constantly thinking about the chase.
Ryan.
Randy Powerman,